Welcome to this week's episode of Esports Wrap. I'm your host, Michael Amargan, and with us today we have our returning guest, Nally.
Hey, what's up?
This week we're going to be talking about some interesting topics. For the most part, it's going to be based on. Welcome to this week's episode of Esports Wrap. I'm your host, Michael Amargan. My audio playing from Twitch. Great. Awesome. Right. So yeah, we're gonna be talking a lot about DLC for the most part.
Ugh.
For those who don't know, DLC stands for downloadable content. And typically what happens is, you buy a game a few months after, like you've already unlocked most of the things in the game and you've almost beaten it, or you've beaten it. Especially if you're like one of those persons that just like go ham on it.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you reach the end and then they bring out some new content which you can either pay for or sometimes it's free. Like in a lot of games this is what you would call an expansion.
I wouldn't call it an expansion. They have actual expansions that they launch, but then they just start selling downloadable content like Call of Duty. I was a fan of Call of Duty until they just started spamming the DLCs. Like, oh, we could get like, who the hell wants to play Call of Duty with a nail gun? At that point, I realized it's just getting ridiculous. And then they came out with a skill saw.
Yeah.
Safety thing. So they have a skill saw shooter where you shoot a saw.
What?
Yeah, and then they came out with a lefty. So you legit just beat people with a left arm. And I'm like, yeah, this game's gone to the dogs and it's making no sense anymore. So, yeah.
That doesn't. What? That's almost like flavor weapons in a sense.
Yeah, it's like, okay, some of the weapons were cool. They brought back some of the older weapons from Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, that were really fan favorites. And then they just got ridiculous. Dude, boxing gloves. It's just so retarded. And it's like, bruh, I mean, I understand you want to keep it fun, right? But there's a difference between fun and stupidity. And you're just making the game stupid. When you have dudes actually going around getting the most kills in the game with a left arm as a weapon, that tells you something is really wrong.
Yeah. You're right. Okay, so where's your real differentiation between an expansion and a DLC? Because there are expansions that come out. Let's use Hearthstone as an example. The new one that's coming out, Kobolds and Catacombs. That's something that you download.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
an update, so isn't it not downloadable content?
yeah, it is technically classified as downloadable content, but I've only been playing Hearthstone less than a year, and it's starting to feel like it's not even expansion anymore. It's just starting to feel like DLC. Like every 3 to 6 months, new DLC, 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 DLC. It's just like tack-ons. But I understand what they're trying to do. They cycle out, so they trying to technically keep it an expansion. But another a favorite game of mine is Rainbow Six Siege. They literally every few months, come out with a new map, new characters, which would be technically an expansion. They come up with a theme, characters based on those themes. The last region that came out was China. They had Chinese operators, i.e., officers, that now partake. They have a Chinese map, so that's the Blood Orchid expansion. So it's not as if you just download a bunch of stuff that comes with it, because they have downloadable content, but it's an actual expansion. So they have an expansion, then they have downloadable content. Like you want to buy maps, or not maps. Want to buy like camos, or just want to buy like some charms for your gun. You could do that, but then they have an actual expansion that only comes out after 6 months. So like you keep it separate, but you don't have everything just. So yeah.
Okay.
can rant. I can
Oh
rant.
crap! Hold
So,
on a second. I just pulled out my headphones. I'm back.
okay.
Hey, what were you saying now?
No, I was saying. So Rainbow Six actually has an expansion, and then they have downloadable content just to go towards, I guess paychecks, which is fine. I partake in it from time to time. They released some Halloween DLC, which is pretty cool. So once October ended, you can no longer get those other than inside of a alpha pack, which is like a card pack from Hearthstone. So if you're lucky enough to get it, then you get it. If not, you just purchase it for like $6, and you have the full outfit, headgear, like zombie gear. So it was pretty cool. And I decided to partake in one for a few characters, and just buy it as you want it.
Okay, so that's essentially a loot crate, just in a pack for
Yeah,
Hearthstone and
yeah,
for Rainbow Six.
yeah, more or less. So you just get what you want because you like it. Support the game, keep them, updating and working towards making the game a little better.
Okay, so would you say DLC is more like, say, a new character coming along in Overwatch, or Nimsy, for example, in Hearthstone?
Yeah, Nimsy would be like DLC,
Okay.
but she'd be achievable DLC, but she'd still be DLC. Or, yeah, yeah. I was gonna mention Marin, but Marin was special condition
Yeah.
DLC.
But still DLC.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know at BlizzCon this year they did announce a new character for Overwatch. I don't remember what her name was.
Yeah. I don't really follow Overwatch, but I watch majority of the sessions as
Moira's
much
her
as I
name.
could. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So she would technically be DLC.
Okay. So therein comes the kind of topic where, you're thinking about what's DLC. Okay, so new characters technically fall into DLC. And then apparently it's a thing now where games are giving out free DLC kind of things, where instead of you buying or unlocking a character, it comes free to kind of change up the game a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of a good thing. I kind of see it more as just a sales pitch. Like if you buy the deluxe edition, you get this much stuff instead of buying the regular for like $30 less. So for that extra $30, you technically get DLC for free for $30.
Okay. Okay, well, here's where I'm thinking about it. Let's take a game like Overwatch or Splatoon 2. Have you played Splatoon 2 or Splatoon?
No,
Okay.
I sounds familiar though.
Okay, essentially it's a Nintendo's shooter game.
Okay.
Um with Splatoon and Splatoon 2, every few months or so they would bring out a new weapon or a new map. You would have already purchased the game, and so they just launch these things time after time, and so you're just getting free continuous content. But you have to, the maps of course are free for you to play on, but they rotate, and the weapons you have to, there's no means to actually use physical money to gain coins, which you need to buy them. You have to play games to get the coins that you need.
Okay.
In Overwatch, for example, you buy the game, whatever tier you got, and anyone can play any character. It's just, if you want certain skins or voices or things like that, then yeah, you kind of have to play to get credit, or you can get loot boxes to then unlock those things. So either one.
Okay.
But then you have a method like Heroes of the Storm, another Blizzard game, where only certain characters are allowed. So when you first start up nowadays, they give you you pick between which type of class you want to play. If you want to play warrior, assassin, support, something along those lines, then they give you some characters that are based on that role.
Okay.
and then everything else, every other character, you'd either need to buy via loot box or from the store, either with real credits, like money, and then to credits via loot boxes, or by winning games and getting credits like that.
Wow. I guess everybody just sets up a main for you to pick your own poison. But like Splatoon, I'm actually familiar with Splatoon. Looking at it, this is the paint-based game.
Yes.
It's actually pretty neat. I haven't had a chance to play it, but I saw it at I think an Xbox did E3 last year, so I first saw it. But it definitely looks good, and a play to win game system is probably one of the best systems to have, because then only the best can be titled as the best.
Yep.
You know, instead of a pay to win. So yeah, and again, I go back to Rainbow Six and Call of Duty because they're more familiar for me. There's nothing more frustrating than someone being able to, okay, we're spending all this money on this game. You could buy credit to go towards purchasing random boxes. So basically loot crates. So you actually spend money to get coins to purchase loot crates. So there's no guarantee that you get what you want. And if you happen to spend, say, $100, then you may end up getting lucky enough to get one of the special DLC weapons that you spent $100 on. So in that regard, it kind of kills the game because it's like, okay, everybody on my squad now has this weapon except me. I can't enjoy the playing with it. They play the game regularly to earn coins. I spend money to I'll try and get this loot crate to get this weapon, and I still don't have it. Why should I continue playing this game? When, they don't spend no money, I'm spending money, and I still can't get what I want. It defeats the purpose. It honestly defeats the purpose.
I want
And
Sorry, go on.
and then when you're playing a game where the dynamics are so broken that dudes are able to stand in one spot in the map and just spawn kill every time you pop into the map, what is the true point in even playing that game? So I spent $100 to get a weapon just to be spawn killed and don't even get any points.
Now, what about games that have a weak launch? Let's use Street Fighter V as an example.
Okay.
Came out with either 15 or 16 characters at launch. I think it's 16. And a few modes outside of the standard match.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a $60 game. Then after a while, they said they were going to start adding some free updates and downloadable content. And now it's been about 2 years now, and they've received new characters, stages, modes, and so now it's kind of finally fitting that kind of hefty price tag of $60, whereas when you first got it, it didn't quite feel like that.
So the characters are free?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's definitely worth it. So, it's not as if you paid $60 for nothing. You paid $60 and then they reimbursed you as the game progressed. Could you imagine paying $60 and then when they finally came with new characters, you got to pay for those extra characters? That would have pissed off a lot of people, and then it would have deterred a lot more people from wanting to play it. So at least as they're doing the expansion, or they're adding to the game, adding stages, they're giving you what you paid for.
Okay, but doesn't that kind of set a bad precedent though? That developers can release a crap game and then build upon it later to give you a better game later on?
Yes and no. I mean, dude, Flappy Bird is an example of a really crap game that ended up being paid for and cancelled just because it was too triggering. So I rather pay for a game that people are gonna, that the developers are actually gonna care for and get more out of it later than paying for a really crap game and nothing, that never even goes anywhere.
I feel a little differently. Like, I would prefer a certain standard of a game,
Hmm.
and then you build upon it after that to keep the people who are playing it and enjoying it, to keep them playing your game. I think that's
Yeah,
especially important in today's industry where you have a lot of people streaming their gameplay and people
sure.
watching them.
Agree. Okay, I can get behind that. But an example that I would give is Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That's going to be released February of next year,
I think so.
and it's pretty small right now. I was able to take part in the beta test, and it was amazing. Being both a Dragon Ball Z fan and somewhat of a fighter game fan, more Dragon Ball Z than fighter, and they had a lot of issues. Their servers are crap, and they're really doing what they can. They asked a lot of people to pre-order, I guess, to go towards development of what they know they need to get money to do. So when they launch, they have a sturdy game. But I kind of feel it's going to be the same way because for fighting games, it's all about that connection time. Those frame rates, as far as I was told, if you have a very low latency, you lose because you're always going to be a step behind. So for them, I think building upon, okay, let's start off with our small servers, small game, small setup, and then let's build on that to kind of make it, you know, the grown up it needs to be. So, but in terms of a shooter game, you have to come out correct because you're just a shooter game. You're not a fighting game where every click of the button counts. A shooter game is just right position, right time, and you basically win.
Okay, so what about the situation with new characters and those characters change the gameplay? Or a
Oh,
new
I mean,
gun
like,
and the new gun
uh,
changes the gameplay?
you mean like Shadow Reaper Anduin?
Kind of, yeah. So much like how Hearthstone does it with the either the legendary card quests or the legendary heroes, and
Yeah,
eventually going to be the legendary quest cards. Well, not quite
the legendary
quest.
weapons.
Yeah, the
Legendary
legendary
weapons.
weapons. That's it, and things
Those are
like
gonna-
that. Like, what's how do you feel about? Actually, no, I can't really say about Hearthstone like that because you don't get those cards for free
No.
unless you are continuously playing and then buy
Oh
those
yeah,
cards.
unless you grind out 100 coin a day, and even that, I guess I kind of see why they limit you to 100 a day because you could just mine. But
But okay, let's kind of go with Overwatch's new character, Moira. People are gonna start wanting to go on Overwatch, gonna start playing her. It's a new character. It's gonna change up the dynamics of the game. So that kind of aspect, it kind of keeps the game fresh in a sense.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, and you kind of have to because I only just realized that every game has a meta. It's just I didn't even realize that was a thing. I guess the deeper you get into competitive gameplay, you come to learn that. But a character that can come and change the way the game style is played is a good thing. But I guess how you go about giving that character to you know the community, I guess, kind of determines whether your game is gonna continue to be viable. Because she was free, or she's just
Every character on Overwatch is free once you buy the game.
okay.
It's
I mean,
quite
so I
literally just
guess
skins and stuff like that you would either buy with loot box or with
okay,
credit.
okay, but that's not bad. But in Rainbow Six, when they have a new expansion, you can, if you have the season pass, which is just what $60 an additional. So the game is 60, and the season pass is additional 60. You get everything as it's released. You get all new maps and everything, and 3 weeks before they get released to the regular public. So you basically you kind of feel where your money went. So I get to play this character before the regular players who don't have the season pass has the chance to earn 12,000 coins to purchase them.
Hmm.
And then as you only earn what 400 500 coins per game, So that's a lot of games you have to grind out before you can purchase one operator. So you only paid $60. You got to kind of work to go towards the rest, but you get so many characters and you have to build upon. So it's a balance in that, and that's kind of one of the reasons I appreciate the game.
So, question:
hmm
have you ever played any games like Madden, FIFA, NBA 2K, anything like that?
Yeah, I played 2K, but out of friends' house, I wouldn't actually purchase the game.
Oh, well, okay. Let me rephrase. Have you ever played like a game based on a physical sport?
Probably not. No.
Okay. Well, you know the basis behind like the games in FIFA and Madden, so on and
Yeah.
so forth, and how they pretty much come out with every new year. There's a new character. There are new plays,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's a new game every year. Yeah.
So apparently, and it seems EA is going to be starting to do this, and we're going to talk about EA in just a second, but well, more about EA. Apparently what they're trying to do is move away from that every year a new game concept and making it a subscription based game. So it's going to be like you pay for the subscription and then you get downloadable content of new characters and new plays and new teams, something along those lines.
I don't know about that. Like, no one likes to have like subscription base sucks. I don't want to be locked in. Like, so I have on Xbox, I have friends who I jam with. They have an EA subscription for X amount of games that they could play free, download. But it ain't really that good of a selection of games for me to pay. Yeah, I say it's only $10 a month. That's $10 a month. I'd rather not pay for games that I ain't gonna play. And if just say I forget to pay or renew my subscription for the following month, I can no longer play the games that I have downloaded. So let's just say, oh, for some strange reason I can't, or the internet goes down in our area and it's down for a while. I now have no access to my own downloaded games that I was paying for because I can't get onto the internet to verify the game. Why would I want that? I prefer to just buy the game that I know I'm going to play on a constant basis than have to be locked into subscription. Like, I guess for NBA and Madden and FIFA, it would. I don't know if it would work. I honestly don't know if it would work because you're now telling people, okay, so you're gonna buy a FIFA subscription starting in 2020, and every year once you renew your subscription, you get the newest FIFA. It's the same thing, because depending on the subscription type, maybe it's $10 a month. You're probably gonna end up paying more than you would for the actual game.
Yep.
So it's like, how are they gonna cut it? Are they gonna divide it for the price of the game? So is your subscription gonna be solely based on the game's cost, or is it gonna be widespread? Like what? What's it gonna be?
Well, that same thing which you were talking about with your friends, I think that is only $5 a month. And that allows access to games. But new titles are only added 6 months after the initial release. So if you want to
Yeah.
play FIFA or Madden, then you're quite literally gonna have to wait 6 months before they may add them to the library. Not only that, I think it's GameStop, which is only in the United States, lets you pretty much borrow pre-owned games for $10 a month. But even that, it's okay. That's if you want to continuously play a game on and off, you don't want to have to keep going to a place like GameStop, renting out the game, and then having to take it back and be charged late fees.
Yeah, it's like, why would anybody want that? I understand that people that see it as convenient, but no, probably for streamers, like people who stream for a living, that would be viable, because then they could just go and play the games that their viewers want to see. But for the average gamer, no one has that kind of money to throw around just on games, especially if you're working. If you're working, you have an apartment, you're not just gonna chalk up $10 on a subscription for a select group of games that you may have to travel for work and can't get to play. That's kind of giving away money. So again, like, I purchased Assassin's Creed not too long ago, and some evenings, if I'm free, I just sit down and grind out Assassin's Creed
There,
and stop, and it's mine. I don't
hold
have
on,
to
hold on.
worry.
You
I don't have to
broke
worry,
up.
but
So all I heard was you grind out, and then that was it.
no, I say I have Assassin's Creed, and I can come home when I have some free time and grind out for 5 hours, and just play some Assassin's Creed whenever I want, without having to worry. I don't have to worry about let me see if I can probably tether my phone because the internet is down and get them to connect this so I can play. You know, for the average person who has to work or has a job, who doesn't game for a living, it's not as viable as they make it seem. And I don't think they're even coming toward us. They're going for the ones who still live with parents, or whose mom and dad credit card pay the bill, so they could just not feel the weight of it. It's free to them, but parents pay it. And they're happy, so no one really cares. It ain't for us. I know that.
The only way I see it really working out is if it's you. Wait, you still there, Nally? Nally?
Am I breaking up?
Oh, yeah, you were for a second. Okay, so the only way I really see it working is if you buy the game and then they release downloadable content, like you pay the subscription, it downloads the downloadable content, which you can then play on or offline. If you want to play with against other people or friends or whatnot. But if you want to do local, then it's already downloaded onto your console and you play it like that. That's the only way I really see it working out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And I don't know if PlayStation is still free. But is PlayStation Network still free?
I think there's a charge if you want to play online.
So they finally started charging. Okay, but there's no person in their right mind who's gonna pay a yearly subscription to be online to Xbox Live. I'm using Xbox because I know Xbox, and then gonna have to pay another subscription to play a game that you now have to pay to be online to play. No way. There's no way. And then, so if I don't download, if I'm paying a subscription, my Xbox Live is up, then I'm still in the same boat because I can't connect to Xbox Live to get online and play the game.
Yep.
So how does that benefit me?
I have no idea.
Like, at that point, it's easier to just start smoking money because burning it just seems like a waste.
Hi, Mr. Juan. But and would you really think about it as well? Like, what's Grandma gonna buy you for Christmas?
You're right. Downloadable subscription.
And okay, we're gonna continue along with this EA topic because there's something that's been happening online that has been making waves around the internet, mainly Reddit.
Mhm.
So I think it was yesterday. It was between Sunday and Monday. So between Sunday and yesterday, where people were starting to get really gung-ho about Star Wars Battlefront 2 and how they've been going along with the loot box system with that, and the fact that someone could come in, spend a bunch of money, get the credits, and buy a bunch of the loot boxes. Also that there was no real there was nothing to say, okay, well, I'm in this game and I'm going to get more credits if I do well versus if I just stand there and do nothing. You get the same amount of credits.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
So people could just mine, basically.
Yeah. And someone did the math. You would have to spend like 40 hours just to get one of the high-end heroes, like one of the high-end heroes, like Darth Vader or Luke Skywalker or someone like that. And whereas you could spend 14 hours at the US average medium pay wage, 14 hours of that, and be able to buy the same character if you just like use actual money. So it's kind of leading people to say, okay, here's my money. Give me this character. Give me the character that I want to play as.
Yeah, and I think that's what I was talking about. You just pay the pay to win really kills it. Like, and again, it might sound like a broken record. Even in Rainbow Six, yeah, you may be able to pay for the operators, but that don't mean you could play. Like, it is a one round per, like, you know, once you die in that round, you're out until the end of the round. So you could get unlucky and the teammate could accidentally put a bullet in the back of your head. There's nothing you could do until the other round. So there's no pay to win. There's only pay to get the characters to hopefully play better. But literally, oh man, because I was gonna download the Battlefront beta, and I watched some of the gameplay, and the only person I think you could play with at the time was Ray. And I was like, okay, that's kind of boring. I watched some of the gameplay, and you just watch people. It didn't look as interesting. So now, when you just pay a few dollars, 14 hours worth of work, just to get the character, just to beat everyone, and obviously the characters are OP. What's the fun in that?
Okay, well, I think there may have been some confusion with what you were watching. So there are several different campaigns that you could do. You have the single player, where you can, for the beta, it was either you play as a robot or as Darth Maul. Okay. And you would have to like either complete a wave of beating stormtroopers, rebel fighters, and you're the droids, or you're Darth Maul and you have to kill a certain amount of people within a certain period of time. The other ones were multiplayer, where you either in a starfighter jet, or you were trying to take over a palace with like 40 on 40.
Okay, wow.
Battleground, or you are in a, forgetting exactly what amount it is, but crap. Anyway, it's a much shorter amount. I think it's only like 5 to 7 people that you would be, that's on either team.
Okay.
And typically you're playing as a base player, and then like as you play more, you unlock, you have the ability to, like, you build up points, and then you can use those points to then unlock a hero class. But if you die, the hero class goes away.
Okay.
So people could have picked from Jetpack Fighter, could have picked Darth Maul, could have picked, I think Ray was one of them, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you may have seen people who were playing as Ray.
Everybody played Ray. It was just a bunch of Rays, and I was like, yeah, I don't know.
One thing that I found interesting is that if someone already has a special hero character, you can't pick that character. At least during the beta when I played. So that kind of was bummer, because, or at least there was a certain max out of how many people could do it. Because I got to that point finally after I was playing, and I'm like, okay, I want to play as this character. I want to play as a Wookiee. Nope, can't play as a Wookiee. I'm like, fuck. So there's that, and then yeah, there's the whole element to how expensive some of these characters are. And yeah, EA's come out and said they've lowered it from feedback from the beta and from the trial, the first trial or whatever they call it. Like, saw a few people that were playing it, mainly those who actually work at EA. But apparently they took feedback from that and the Reddit community. They're having a Ask Me Anything tomorrow, I believe.
Wow.
And because there were people that were like did a ask me anything request based on it. Um, but yeah, people are really upset about that kind of.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you get to the internet because they will destroy you. The internet is no one's friend. I can tell you that.
I think it's a good thing that they decided to lower the price for the high end characters so that they're more affordable to the people who don't want to give money.
Yeah, because this it's unfair that everybody. Okay, I can only get this character if I pay for it. I should have the opportunity to earn it in your game as a free to play player.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in Hearthstone, it's actually not that difficult. Like free to play, you just have to grind it out. Once you grind it out, you get what you need.
Yeah.
You honestly can. Like I didn't pre-order the new expansion as yet. And I say, okay, you know what? I'm gonna grind it out. And I started grinding out last week, Thursday, Friday. I'm already at the 1300 gold. That's completing quests. And I'm like, okay, so by the time the expansion come out, I should be able to buy a few packs, a good amount of packs. I mean, I'm still gonna pre-order, but not until closer to the release,
Right.
just for the card back, you know.
Yeah.
Because once they go, you don't get them back anymore. But other than that, you gotta be considered to your free to play players. I already saved up my allowance to buy this $60 game, and now the only way I can win the game is if I give you more money. That's unfair.
So Mr. Wan is saying all the games are going to be pay to win. Like they have to make money somehow also, and sadly I know a lot of free to play games that I love went down and never showed up again.
Wow.
I mean, in that sense, yes. Sometimes these free-to-play games do need to have some form of income coming in.
Yeah, not debating that, but when it completely shifts your game to, well, you pay, you win, and if you're free to play, you gotta move to pay. Then no one plays your game, and you still lose out anyway. Because then those free to play players are gonna be like, you know what, let them chuck their money at it, and then you're gonna have a lot less people playing because only those spending money are gonna stop spending money once they get what they want.
Yep.
So
I think a good example of that, to be quite honest, is Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2. Mainly Guild Wars 2 because of how they did it. Because you buy the game, and that's it. You don't necessarily have to spend any more money. There's no subscription. There are microtransactions that help you in the game, and that's typically how they get their money to continue on. With cosmetic items and stuff like that, things that don't really change the game or alter, like make you play better than someone else. It's quite literally just an outfit or a pick that never breaks or something like that, which, I mean, in a sense it kind of changes the game a little bit because normal picks, they break after a certain amount of use.
Yeah, but then it doesn't break the game to where they can take advantage of it.
Right, because you still have
fine.
to find the nodes and everything like that. It's just your pick doesn't break.
Yeah, which is fine. And that's a good way to have the game set up. Like, if you want to make money on your game by having, fun DLC, not this is the only way you win DLC, then that is the way to go. Like, but then I guess for them, what kind of DLC could you have out? Like, you can't have another outfit for Darth Vader. What could he possibly be in? Is Darth Vader going to be in a bikini? No. Is Luke going to be in a bikini? No. The only thing you could have for Luke is probably before the dark side with both hands, and then after the dark side with a robotic arm. You could be flexible there, but majority of the customization is going to be in stormtroopers or basically stormtroopers or the rebels.
I don't think anyone wants to see Darth Vader or any of the guy characters in a bikini. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
So it's not a matter of will they, it's a matter of please don't.
No, they can't go there. But what else could you add to the game to generate more money?
I mean, they can maybe do some seasonal stuff. Darth Vader wearing a Santa cap or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But then you have those diehard fans that are going to flip their shit.
Of course.
When it happens.
Of course.
But, I don't know. They just have to think it through before they completely turn everybody off, and then the game becomes a bust.
Yep.
Like, you just really have to be careful what you do. I give it to Blizzard, especially their Hearthstone group, their Hearthstone team. They do a good job. I mean, they definitely have some broken ass cards that you just. And I really wish I had hit Legend with Jade Druid at the time, and he was just running rampant. But hey, it is what it is. Highlander Priest is not as powerful as he used to be. People are getting more creative. Tempo Rogue is still top tier, but it is not the unbeatable deck. And I think we had a good chat in the group, and I was telling people, yo, the meta is balanced. I don't care what you say. Every class has the ability to just bust any other class's ass, basically. The meta is balanced. When you have 3 or 4 different deck classes in top tier, your meta is balanced.
Yep.
One just may be, you know, more played and has a higher win rate, but it's very much balanced.
Mr. One, no one wants to see Darth Vader with bigger boobs. I'm sorry.
No one wants to see a female Darth Vader either. Like,
Actually, no. There have been some really good cosplays of that.
yes, cosplay and gameplay are 2 different things. Like, you will literally have like, you know what? That may actually work.
It may.
And then it would, you know, appeal to the right communities. Having just a female Vader is fine. You don't need a female Luke.
Nah.
That'd be too much. That'd be too much. Yeah, but a female Vader would probably be alright. Yeah.
You could have Luke wearing that slave outfit though. For the ladies.
No. That will never work. Ever. That's not even like you want to see the internet tilt completely? Do that. The internet will completely just break.
Okay, so I know there's one thing. Since we kind of are talking about Star Wars, what about games like Star Wars The Old Republic? Where it was a subscription bit. You have to buy the game, then it was subscription based. Then they made it free to play. And you can subscribe to get cartel coins, which allow you to buy cosmetic items, mounts, cosmetic guns, gems, which, admittedly, yes, the gems do boost your stats and stuff like that. What do you think about stuff like that?
I don't know. I guess it was good for its time, but like as it stands, like right now, you gotta be pretty careful with that kind of stuff, because it becomes a little more apparent that you're just a cash cow. You're just trying to get everybody's money. I don't know. I don't really know how to feel about it.
I mean, it kind of does come off that way because there's also a level restriction. So I know when I was playing, like I was playing with someone, we were leveling together. They reached level 50 and couldn't level anymore while I was on level 60. And not only that, the leveling experience was boosted because I was a subscriber.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, so I don't know, like things like that, it always felt odd to me because I'm getting the newest content, so I don't have to buy the new content because I'm a subscriber. Technically, everything that a subscriber gets, someone can buy using like separate little purchases. But
no in-game play can achieve these.
It has to be cartel coins, and that's the only way you buy this stuff.
Yeah, that's a little unfair. You should have the ability to earn towards those coins in game to make it fair. I just have to work a little harder without paying. That's fine. But when I can't at all without having to pay, then you have created a broken game, because now you've set this divide between gamers of those who are just good and those who can never be any better. Like I may be one of the best players in the game, but I can't be any better than the young 5-year-old whose dad just gives him a credit card. So now I'm subject to his taunts, his BMs, just straight through.
So we have a question from Mr. Juan. If I'm a game developer, how do I make money out of my game? I worked hard on it. I rent servers. So what do you think?
I mean, that's where the cosmetic DLC comes in. That's where majority of good developers make their money. Again, Rainbow Six, they do seasonal things. Halloween, they have scary costumes for select characters that you can purchase, or you can happen to get from a crate. That's how you keep your game active. They can come up with new content, and then you keep paying for the servers. So let's just say if it takes 50 cents to make this costume, but it takes $1 to store it on Xbox in the Xbox store. If you charge $6, you pay for making 2 or 3 more, storing 2 or 3 more, and have enough left over to go towards server maintenance per each character, per each person that pays for it. So you got to kind of balance out exactly how you want to generate revenue without breaking the game for those that are currently enjoying playing it.
Not only that, you need to take a look at the kind of model that you really want to run. If you're gonna make a game and have a high end value for it, say $60, then you really shouldn't be making people pay for additional things unless they're going to get more value from it, more so than what they would have gotten out of an actual finished game. Otherwise, you're going to have people bitching about it.
Yeah.
With microtransactions, you want to be careful so that you don't tilt your game, because if you have a bunch of microtransactions and it completely ruins the game, then people are going to start complaining about it because X person does it better. But if you're playing a single player game and you have it there, and say, let's go with Assassin's Creed Origins, you can quite literally buy crafting materials to upgrade yourself, or buy certain kinds of weapons or outfits or stuff like that. It doesn't quite matter because it's a single player game.
Yeah.
And so you play it how you want to. If you're a streamer, then sure, some of your people, like your viewers, may complain that, oh, you're buying to win, but it's like,
You can't buy to win. Just buying for the character, not buying to beat the game.
Exactly.
Like there are a lot of, like in Assassin's Creed, you can spend money on it, but you gotta grind out to get those objectives done. Else you're not gonna beat the game.
Mm-hmm.
No matter, you could spend whatever money you want to spend. You could buy whatever weapon you want to buy, but unless you go through the objectives and earn enough experience points, you just ain't never gonna beat the game. You're never going to move on to the next section, so it doesn't matter. If you could just chuck money at it for the sake of being pretty, that's fine. Having good stats, that's fine. But unless you know how to properly time your jump to, even though they're just, very blind AIs, some are a little more advanced than others, you're never going to win.
Yep. So it really depends on what you want to do. And to answer your question about Grand Theft Auto 5 being playable without DLCs, honestly, Grand Theft Auto for the longest time didn't have any DLCs.
Yeah.
So
I just saw the question, and yeah, dude, DLCs does not make GTA at all. GTA is GTA by itself. Give me a gun, give me a car, let me go chase some real life players, and that's all you need. That's all you need to make GTA fun. Like, let me and my friend, let my neighbor connect, and we both hop on the same server, and I could chase him down and kill him, and we have a good time. That's GTA. Like, that's the online. That's the most you need for online fun from GTA. Like, you don't need any more than that, to be honest.
Yeah. So, I think that pretty much covers the topics that I really wanted to talk to you. Anything you wanted to talk about before we wrap up?
Not really.
Okay.
It's just, no, not really.
Because this normally the show's only like half an hour, but like we actually went up almost to an hour this time.
Hey, good content.
Good content. Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you again, Mr. Juan, for participating inside the chat. And thanks, Nally, for coming on.
It's been fun.
And to all the viewers, both live and if you're listening on YouTube, on Facebook, or on the podcast, don't forget Esports Wrap is every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tech Talk, our other show, is on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, we do have the podcast, so feel free to go there at MOAR Cookies, MOAR cookies.com to listen to the podcast, or check it out on Apple Podcasts or Google Play Music or any of the podcasting places that you typically go to. Trust me, we're more than likely there. Just search up the name and look for MOAR Cookies somewhere in the icon. So take care. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to follow. If you're on Twitch, feel free to follow or subscribe. And if you're on podcast, feel free to subscribe or, subscribe to the feed, I should say. And until next time, I'm your Michael Amargon. Take care.
Cool. You got to work on your